saying we want limited government and we want it out of the private lives of American citizens, especially the women of the United States. Madam Speaker, I rise to talk about a very important issue in this country. This country is a country that has been and was founded on the idea of freedom. This country has fed more people, clothed more people, cured more people, and liberated more people than all the other countries in the world combined. And the source of American power has always been the great American middle class, which we need to have an aggressive policy to rebuild. And the strength of the American middle class has always been connected to our energy policy. Do we have a policy in this country that will allow us to dominate the world in manufacturing, to dominate the industries of the future, to keep costs low for both business and consumers? And so I'm rising here today in support of this permitting process bill that we will be voting on here this week. This is an important opportunity for us to mobilize and move the natural gas industry in places like Ohio to both reduce costs here for manufacturers and consumers, and for us to export this product.
First payment, a maximum of $841, was issued on September 1st. The second payment, also for up to $841, will be sent out at the end of the month. However, the $1,600 maximum total for September is only for single recipients. An eligible individual with an eligible spouse receives up to $1,200 per payment, while a stipend of $420 per payment goes to those living with or providing for SSI beneficiaries. The program is overseen by the SSA and provides monthly payments to adults and children with a disability or blindness who have income and resources below specific financial limits. SSI payments are also made for people 65 and up without disabilities who meet certain financial qualifications. You might be eligible to receive SSI monthly payments even if you already received SSI or SSDI or retirement benefits. About 7.6 million people receive SSI benefits, in fact, and not everyone gets the same amount. You might get more if you live in a state that adds the money to the federal SSI payment, or get less if you have other income. Because of the way the system works, 2 SSI payments are sent in September, April, and December. But that doesn't mean you're getting extra money. It's to make up to 3 months that have no payments sent out in January, May, and October. There is a new deposit date for inflation checks. Here's the listen up. Listen up, everybody. It's about to get really important. Millions of eligible households who qualify for the SNAP will continue to get an important financial boost amidst an inflation crisis that has dealt the United States a hard blow. The amount each family could receive mainly depends on their income as well as certain expenses. Several states have officially announced they will offer additional SNAP benefits to eligible families. The assistance is intended to help households struggling to make ends meet as a result of joblessness or decreased hours following the crisis. Last year, Congress and the USDA decided to temporarily modify SNAP eligibility. Under the new rules, each household must meet certain requirements and also asset requirements in order to qualify. The household income should be at or below 130% of the federal poverty level, which has been at $1,800 a month in 2022. For example, this means that the federal poverty line for a 3-person family is $2,400 a month. Meanwhile, a household without an elderly or disabled member must have assets of $2,500 or less. The Pennsylvania SNAP program has been benefiting families in the U.S. states since it came into effect. The good news is that the recipients are going to continue to get extra monthly checks throughout October 2022. And now, due to the crisis, SNAP recipients have been receiving extra monthly checks as well. On July 15th, the Biden administration extended the federal emergency declaration due to the crisis for an additional 90 days. Therefore, the SNAP payments will continue through the end of this month. The extra payment will bring households that are only eligible for a partial benefit up to the maximum benefit amount for their household size. Households that are eligible for the maximum benefit amount will receive an extra $95 a month. In the upcoming weeks, millions of Americans can anticipate receiving some financial assistance. Due to new tax rebates, Illinois taxpayers will soon get checks in the mail. Illinois is also passed early this year into providing one-time individual income tax refunds, as well as rebates on property taxes for people who meet certain specific requirements. Benefit checks. Democrats and Republicans are being urged to approve an expansion of monthly child tax credit payments. A relief proposal has been put forward that would send out $350 checks every month to eligible Americans. And now, new food insecurity data, released by the U.S. Department of Agriculture today, provided the latest evidence that the enhanced child tax credit and other relief programs passed in the first 2 years of the crisis significantly helped millions of people to support their families last year. And with much of the aid now ripped away, households are again struggling to make ends meet. The agency's annual report on food security showed that about 1 in 10 homes, or about 13.5 million households, didn't have enough food in 2021. Overall food insecurity remained the same from 2020 to 2021 and grew worse for older Americans. The report says that the prevalence of food insecurity declined from 2020 to 2021 for few population subgroups, including households with children under age 18 and with children under age 6. Last year, 6.2% of households with children were unable to provide adequate and nutritious food for their children.
Exhausted and want the government out of their lives, out of our personal lives. And Justice Thomas's opinion about nullifying marriages, about getting rid of birth control, is an extreme overreach. This is a country built on freedom, and it is time for us to stand up. The exhausted majority, Democrats, Republicans, and independents.
We also know it does not do so equally when Latino Americans are twice as likely to be victims of gun homicides. But again, instead of passing reasonable gun safety laws, these extremists suggest teachers should just strap on a gun in their classroom. This on top of an agenda to...
Big news has been announced, and there are new proposals currently on the table. It would make a dramatic positive impact for the Social Security people. Joe Biden is making a big decision on this in order to try to avoid Social Security cuts for all recipients. Top senators for both parties are working to save Social Security benefits. Everyone in D.C. knows that Social Security is in trouble. They only have to listen to the federal government and the program's trustees. In the latest report, the trustees projected that Social Security's combined trust funds is already running out of money, and by 2034, the program is done. But some in Washington are working on solutions to prevent the program from becoming insolvent. One of them, Senate Republican Bill Cassidy, recently revealed what he called a big idea in a webcast hosted by the Bipartisan Policy Center that could roughly save 70% of the program's projected shortfall. The proposal is to create an investment fund that's completely separate from Social Security's current trust funds. This new investment fund would invest money in the stock market, where Social Security trust funds currently put money in treasury bills or cash. Now, what I mean is that he called Social Security's current approach the Silicon Valley Bank of Pension Funds, a reference to the failed bank that was acquired by the First Citizens Bank. He argued that this federal program is the worst investment strategy you can have right now. The separate fund isn't really a new idea, though, because he pointed to other funds, including the Canada Plan and Ontario Pensions Plan for teachers, that were in bad shape financially but became solvent by using a market-based strategy.